All right, so this video is gonna be like a hot on these East streets. Get ready with me because we're doing some makeup and a catch up because last week, the way last week drained me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
I had to take a petite break, but we're back and I missed some things that I wanted to cover last week. So we're gonna talk about all of that today and do some slight work to this face, some slight work. Let's get into it. Aloha, beautiful humans. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If we've been locked in, my name is Sasha, and today we're doing things a little different. This is like my first get ready with me that I've done here on YouTube. I normally do this on TikTok, but I was like, let me try it on YouTube. And yeah, so let's chat because last week, I didn't realize how much rest I needed last week until like the middle of the week where I just felt like I got hit by a ton of bricks. So normally I do 3 videos a week. Last week was a 2-video week. This week, hopefully we're gonna get back on track. So we're doing a little get ready with me today, doing a little makeup. This is like what I would call my daily beat. So we're not gonna do anything like super serious, but there are topics that I wanna talk about. So we're gonna talk about those topics as I do my makeup. I start with my primer. This is the Refi Clear Face Primer, the Glow and Sculpt. If you have acne prone skin or sensitive skin, you should be doing this regardless of what your skin type is, but it does have a roller. So after you use it, just make sure you wipe it down. You don't want anything that is regularly touching your face, make sure you are wiping it down. So the first topic we're gonna hit on in this video is check-in. How are you doing? A lot has been happening. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Remember, staying hydrated, minding your business. You got goals, you got hopes, you got dreams. Now is the time to go after them. So I hope that you are doing okay. I'm doing pretty well. Last week I was a little drained, so I was really intentional about resting. We're gonna do my eyebrows while I wait for this primer to set, and I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Brow Freeze Gel. It has 3 different sides to their wand. I don't know if you're able to see it, but the short bristles to get the product into your lashes, the long bristles to shape them, and then the flat end is just to really smooth down your eyebrows. This works best if you do not have any product on your eyebrows. So after you put on primer or face moisturizer and you plan on doing your eyebrows using this product, make sure you wipe it off. Okay, but yeah, last week I needed to rest. I went to the Wale concert. It was so much fun. I'm a big Wale stan. I mean, listen, I'm Nigerian American. I'm from the DMV. Like, of course I'm a Wale fan. I think it would be ridiculous to not be a Wale fan, but it was so much fun. I loved it. Snow Bay and I went together. He is also a really big Wale fan. Actually, how deep this goes for us, our wedding song is The Bloom. You know how you get married and then they're like introducing the couple or whatever. That is a song that they introduced us as a unit for the first time. But anyway, so we went together and it was really fun. It was such a good concert. Like, I laughed, I cried, I went home happy. I was singing at the top of my lungs, like, yeah, that's me. I apologize in advance to the girl next to me. I was like, I apologize in advance for my terrible vocals you are about to hear. I'm just really excited for this concert because I bought tickets to it like 6 months ago. So I was really excited about the concert. It was really good. It was just what I needed. It was like very soul rejuvenating. He is definitely a poet through and through, a performer through and through. The energy was like absolutely amazing. It was what I needed. The week before last, I was at a Diwali party. So it was just really nice. You know, I think like hopefully people are leaning on their communities and their friendships, and not necessarily say leaning on them now more than ever, but I think we are in a climate now where we need to be really building community. And if we didn't have community before, we need to be building community or getting back in touch with people because things are gonna get very interesting. So I'm gonna go in with this Bobbi Brown corrector. Honestly, this is a new buy for me. I bought it, oh my goodness. I got these, like, I put on these nails. These are the longest nails I've ever had. I don't know how y'all do these extendos. Like, I'm worried about poking myself out in the eye. It is kind of annoying. But anyways, it's something funny that happened during the concert. It's not funny at all, and I'm glad it happened. Like, when I was in the bathroom and not when I was actually in the concert, my love bracelet fell off. So if you haven't tightened yours in a minute, go ahead and tighten it up because I had not tightened mine since I got it for my birthday back in June, so it's been almost 6 months. And you know, I wear it everywhere. I do not buy jewelry if it is not, like if it's jewelry I have to take on and off every single day. I do not bother with jewelry like that. I'm a very much everyday wear type of jewelry person, and these things need to be tightened. So can you imagine if I was in the concert, like throwing my hands up and, you know, getting in and everything like that, and my bracelet like flew off into the crowd? Oh, I would have been sick. I would have been sick. So thankfully it just like fell off when I was in the bathroom, like coming back from the bathroom. So I was like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. But yeah, if you have a love bracelet, go ahead and tighten it up. What I use this Bobbi Brown corrector for, I got it in the shade Dark Peach, and I just use it under my eyes to just kind of act as an extra step with concealer. I'm not going in with full coverage foundation. I'm just going in with this Donessa Myricks, this Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I use shade 13. All right, so let's talk about the blue bracelet trend. So if you have spent any level of time on social media, you have probably heard about these blue bracelets. And essentially it has taken on like so many different forms now. Allegedly, it was first started, or the idea was floated by white women, white liberal women who wanted to show that they are safe people, you know, for minorities and people of color. Then it morphed into, we want to show that we did not vote for Donald. You know, it's taken on many different meanings, but regardless of what it is, I personally think it's very ridiculous. And I posted this video about it last week, like parodying the blue bracelets. And apparently it was a little too on the nose, because 5 days later, people are still arguing about it in my comments and are not clear about the fact that I was obviously joking. And a lot of white women were actually like really upset and annoyed with me. A lot of them were like, the bracelets are not for you. The bracelets are not for Black women. And I was like, okay, you said that a little, that was giving hard R, but okay. If you want to wear the bracelet, go ahead. But if you are trying to wear it as a show of, oh, I'm a safe person, I'm an ally or an accomplice to certain communities, and I want people to know that they're safe around me, you would show them with your actions, not just your words, or in this case, a blue bracelet. My issue with the blue bracelets is that they are very performative in nature. If you are an accomplice, if you are an ally, you shouldn't have to be wearing a trendy arts and crafts project for the people in your life to know that, or to feel safe with you, or to feel comfortable with you. Like, I think about the white women in my life, the white women who I feel are trying to do the work of allyship and anti-racism and be accomplices, who practice diversity, equity, inclusion, and representation. I don't need those women in my life to wear a bracelet. It's not in what they are wearing. It is in their behavior, it is in their actions. It's just very frustrating to me that as Black women, we have been saying the same thing since 2016. You know, like I said in my last video, but when we were talking about the blue bracelets, it reminds me of the pink hats from the Women's March in 2016. And I think something else that is also missing as a part of the conversation, or that I think a lot of white women are missing when people are criticizing them about this whole blue bracelet trend, is, are you actually being an ally, an accomplice, somebody who is speaking up for Black people and people of color and people of marginalized communities, the LGBTQIA+ community? Are you speaking up for them? Are you keeping that blue bracelet energy in environments and in spaces where you may not have somebody from that community to back you up? Because that's the biggest issue, right? We are still existing in very segregated communities, friendship circles, faith-based circles, etc. So are you speaking up in environments where there are no Black people around, but people are actively being racist or homophobic or xenophobic? Are you speaking up in those spaces, or are you only speaking up and wearing the bracelet to signal to others that you are safe in environments that are comfortable for you, to demonstrate you are a safe person? It's very easy on the train to be like, oh, I have my blue bracelet, you're safe with me, sis. It's a lot harder, though, to speak up in your Mommy and Me group when Caleb's mom is saying some racist crap and you are the only one who does not hold those ideals. Are you speaking up in those environments, you know? So this is exactly what I'm talking about, and I covered it in a second video that I posted. If you want to go to my TikTok and check that out, a longer video as to why these blue bracelets are problematic. But listen, at the end of the day, we got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger things to worry about. If I see somebody wearing one of those bracelets, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I may in my brain be like, you are ridiculous, but I'm not gonna say anything about it to them because that is a fraction of our problem. And I think this also contributes to what I call leftist house cat behavior, fighting about very small crap, not being able to unify or be able to see the forest through the trees that are in front of your face and focusing on just small, dumb stuff that keeps us unable to come to a consensus. Because I talk about this a lot. Republicans and the right, they move like a pack. They are dogs. They are wolves. They are focused on one singular goal and move in tandem with one another to achieve those goals. Leftists, Democrats, however, are like house cats. They're singularly focused on their own personal issues, and it is more challenging to be unified, to work towards one common goal. And we saw a lot of that this election cycle, and it's just really unfortunate. But like I said with the blue bracelets, if you want to wear them, I don't care. Somebody was like, we need a symbol like the MAGA red hats. And I'm like, okay. Symbolism is very important. I want to be very clear that symbolism is very important. However, the work of symbolism is meaningless if you are not doing the work behind what that symbol stands for. And that work is not only done or tangibly the most impactful and effective when you are around people who are like-minded and thinking like you, because that's the harder part. And that's what a lot of, in my personal opinion, a lot of white women, that's where they struggle. They are existing in spaces where they want to do the work when it is convenient and comfortable for them, not necessarily when it's going to have the most impact. So that's what I'll say about that. But if you went to Michael's and you bought a grip of blue bracelets and you want to make your arts and crafts projects and hand them out like you're at a Taylor Swift concert, by all means do that. And if you're a sister who was selling one of those bracelets on TikTok, make your money, girl. I'm not mad at you. Okay, let's do some concealer. I'm going in with the Gucci multi-use long wear concealer, and this is in shade 55C in deep. And I'm just going in and concealing my hyper pigmentation. And as I'm concealing, let's move on to the next topic. What day do you count as the start of the week? Do you count Mondays as the start of the week or Sundays? Let me know but let me be quiet so you can run to the comments and type it in. Oh wait, I can't sing that. They might copyright me. Okay, so Snowbay and I were on the elevator. Oh, P.S. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. You cannot go wrong with this setting spray. This is a holy grail setting spray right here. So what I like to do is after I can put on my concealer, I like to put on setting spray, let it dry down for a minute, get the concealer tacky, and then pat it in because I notice it just stays on a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm gonna look a little crazy. Don't mind that. All right, so do you count Sunday or Monday as the start of the week? I count Sunday as the start of the week. So yesterday I was on the elevator with Snowbay and I was saying to him, I can't believe that Thanksgiving is already next week. And this Karen on the elevator, nobody was even talking to her, minding our business. Now, granted, I know we were in a public space, so it was a small space, so obviously she overheard our conversation, but she's gonna go, actually, Thanksgiving is the week after next. Girl, who the is talking to you? Why are you minding my business? Why are you coming at me like this? Like, why are you being so rude? Is that even necessary? And most people, when they jump into your conversation, a lot of people will jump in and they'll typically do it in a very nice way. She was really rude for no reason. And I was like, ew, but I knew she was looking for attention. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna starve you of the attention that you are obviously looking for, and I'm not gonna acknowledge that you said anything at all. And that's really big of me because I'm really proud of PS 30, Sasha, the growth I have displayed in my 30s, because if this was 20 years ago, that girl, or sorry, it was 10 years ago rather. I mean, even 20 years ago, I was like, I was a lot mouthier, but if this was like 10 years ago, she would have gotten off that elevator with some very hurt feelings. But I said, you know what? I'm not even about to acknowledge you. Let me starve you real quick. You just, you know, she was so rude. Anyways, though. But yeah, Thanksgiving is next week, and I feel like this year has flown by so quickly. It is actually wild to me. I'm not ready for this. I'm not a fall person. I don't like the cold weather. Cold weather is ghetto to me. I'm not a fan of it. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of it. I remember being in the first grade and I asked my teacher, I was like, why does it get cold? And she was like, because we don't live by the equator. And I was like, well, can we just move the equator up here? And she was like, no, Sasha. She was my first grade teacher, Mrs. Cox, if I ever find you, Mrs. Cox, if I ever find you. Anyways, that lady was so mean to me. How are you mean to a 6-year-old? I think there are a lot of people in the teaching profession, and I respect teachers. They need to be given their flowers and a $50,000 pay increase. No educator should be out here making less than $150,000 a year. We have the money and we need to be paying teachers. But anyways, there are a lot of teachers who don't like kids, especially kids of a certain age. And I'm like, why are you a teacher? Like, if you want to be a teacher and you love the profession, but you don't like kids, did you know that there is high school? You could be a college professor. Like, why are you teaching elementary school students, especially young elementary school students? She was not a nice lady to me. Like, I remember she thought I had ADHD, and there's no such thing as ADHD in a Nigerian household, please. Like, please. So she had a parent-teacher conference with my parents, and she was like, I think Sasha might have ADHD. And my dad was like, well, what do you want us to do? Beat her? And my teacher was like, no, I don't want you to do that. I just maybe like get her tested, talk to her about not talking during class. Turns out I was just bored because everything that she was teaching us, I was picking up faster than my other classmates. And once I was finally put in like a talented and gifted program, I was fine. You know, still talkative, obviously, like that is, I'm here talking to y'all now on YouTube. Like, obviously I'm a very talkative person, but I find that a lot of, or some teachers don't have patience for chatty kids. And then she was a white lady, so that could have also played into it. But you know, some kids are just really, you are not intellectually stimulating them. They are smarter, they are more advanced than the work you are giving them. And that was just the case with me. I was just bored. I remember her giving us things to do, and I would be finished with it in like 10 or 15 minutes, and we would have 30 minutes to do it. And everybody else is taking their sweet time. And I'm like, I'm already done. And it was always right. And that's the thing. She was always trying to catch me slipping. And I'm like, never that, okay? So anyways, moving on. How did I get on this tangent? I don't even know. But anyways, I hate the cold weather. I'm not happy about the idea that fall is here, winter is coming up, not happy about it. But if it's like a smooth 45, 50 degrees in DC. I think it dropped to like 40 degrees over the weekend. So if this is the coldest it's gonna get throughout this season, then I'm happy with that. But I can't believe Thanksgiving is already next week. I'm not a big Thanksgiving person. I really don't care about Thanksgiving. Like, Christmas is the main event for me. So, okay, so this is also another question. Are you one of those people that believes that I was over here supposed to be doing my makeup. Now I'm like talking. See, this is probably why I can't like do these get readies with me, but I really like them. Also, I was trying to wait for this setting spray to dry down. All right, so we are going in with some blush. Now that we have the foundation, the concealer, everything is set, we are going to go in with this Gucci blush. It is in soft red. And look at this. This shade is so beautiful. Look at this. Can you see it? I'm not. Anyway, you about to see it. I love that so many places already have their Christmas decorations set up. Like Jackie Aina, oh my goodness. Have you seen her decorations on TikTok? They look so good. I know she posted them on Instagram as well, but I don't really be on Instagram like that anymore. I just be on TikTok a lot. So anyways, she already posted them, and she made me like want to put up my Christmas decorations. But Snow Bay is one of those people who believes that you have to wait until after Thanksgiving to put up Christmas decorations. And I'm not one of those people. Like, I feel like as soon as Halloween is over, it's time to be setting up like Christmas decorations. Like, Christmas decorations are fair game. I'm the type of person, I'd be listening to Christmas music in July. Like, they've already set up outside, like around my neighborhood, they've already have up their Christmas decorations. I'm not mad about it, but Snow Bay is not very happy. So are you one of those people who likes to set up your Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving, like around, like right after Halloween? Or do you feel like you have to wait until after Thanksgiving? I'm not gonna be mad either way. I think there is value in both, but for me, I love Christmas so much that if I could have my Christmas decorations up year round, actually, I would, but Snow Bay would not be going for that. But anyways. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, what do you celebrate? Okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about, it's also a little bit lighter. I talk about very heavy topics and I'm obviously very interested in these things. However, there is like a softer side to me. I'm a big jokey person. I love, just like little light things like, would you rather questions. I used to do that all the time over on Instagram. I don't really do it as much anymore because I don't have as much time. But I just like, very light topics, like things that make me laugh. I love to laugh. So literally I want to like infuse more of that in my personality in this channel. So something that I actually wanted to talk about last week that was like cracking me up was this idea of gentle girlfriending. And I came across this video and I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is me, or this was me, like not anymore. I'm definitely a lot softer. I'm definitely like in my lover girl, lover wife era. But when Snowbay and I first got together, this was definitely me.
Baby, take my picture.
I got you.
Why the fuck you get? Just could you bring it down, baby, please? Right here. Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Wait, is it cold outside?
I mean, when I was out there, it was a.
Is it cold or not? Damn.
Oh,
I'm sorry, baby. Just could you look it up for me?
oh, okay.
I'm so tired of this wig. I need something new, like.
Hey, you should low-key try some Bantu knots.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
I'm sorry, King.
Alright.
I don't want that style.
Yeah, okay. I figured. Let me just.
Why the fuck would you put that fork in there and I just wash the dishes?
I
just. Baby, could you just go wash the fork, please?
Yeah. I did it.
That video has been cracking me up for the past 2 or 3 days. Before I get into that though, let's do some setting powder. So I'm going in with this Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in Cinnamon Bun. And I do my setting powder a little different. Like I said, I really don't like my face to look ashy. So I will do my setting powder in places that I just feel like I need like light touch-ups, but I don't need to like have an airbrushed finish kind of look. Because like I said, I like my finish to be like glowy in nature. I grew up in Nigerian culture, and in Nigerian culture, women, just everybody, not just women, but everybody is very direct. And so I would see like, the whole sweet, like passive, like, oh no, honey, da 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 da. I did not see that with any of the women in my life growing up. I didn't see it with my mom. I didn't see it with my aunties. So I just thought that that was normal. It's not like very lovey-dovey-dovey. It's just very direct, straight to the point. Like, what do you need? Like, what do you want? Kind of. And just very direct. That's what I saw modeled to me growing up. And it's not necessarily wrong, right? But there does need to be some softness. And I really didn't see that type of softness like growing up with the women around me. And when I talk to a lot of other women of color, they will say the same exact thing. So I do think some of it is cultural. I'm not entirely sure what that creator, I'm not sure what she is. She could be black, but she's fairer skinned. So she may be biracial or something else entirely. She may be Latina, she may be Asian. She could, she looks a little Filipina. I don't really know what her culture is, but I know like a lot of the women of color in my life, not just my African girlfriends, my first generation friends who grew up with that, but also, my Caribbean girlfriends, my Indian girlfriends, like that's what we kind of grew up seeing our mothers engaging with our fathers and our aunties engaging with our uncles like that. And so I was reading some of the comments because some of the girls were like, I did not realize that I could be soft until my boyfriend or my husband showed that he was a person to be soft, that I could be soft with, that he was going to handle things, that I wasn't always going to have to be in control of things or waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I think some of that might be true. I think there's a lot of weight to that because another trend that has been also simultaneously trending on TikTok is women in male fields. And I did this video to the trend because I think the trend is absolutely hilarious, okay? Absolutely hilarious. Another layer of setting spray. So think about this for a second. If you are a woman who is constantly being gaslit by a man, or you're always second guessing your place in his life, the status of your relationship, whether he's as serious about you or not, you enter this space where you are in survival mode, and it can absolutely impact your emotions, how you regard your partner, how you respond to them, how you communicate with them. And what the women in male fields show is that a lot of women are so used to toxic male behavior and behavior that is normalized within the context of the patriarchy that when you are finally in a space with a man where you can be soft, you have spent so much time in this fight or flight stage in your relationships that when you are finally in a place where with a man or your husband you can be soft and you can be a gentle wife or a gentle girlfriend, it's very hard to turn off that snap reaction. And so I think that while we are joking about it, I think it does bear a greater conversation as to why so many women, that is their instinct. I think it goes to show the trauma of dating. And I know it sounds dramatic, like when everything is trauma, nothing is trauma, but actively dating as a heterosexual woman is trauma, especially if you are dating in certain communities, in certain areas. As a certain type of woman, it can be very challenging and traumatizing. So it's just very interesting to me how these trends, while we're laughing at them, how they are absolutely a reflection of how male and woman relationships and interactions, how greatly they have eroded over time. All right, let's do a little lippy. Yeah, why not? Why not? All right, so for my lip liner, I use this Sephora. Dang, they are out here like Tokyo drifting on these streets for what? For what? Anyway, so for my lip liner, I use this Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liner, and it is in molasses. This always sells out, so whenever I can find it, I will buy literally like 2 or 3 of them, because last time at my local Sephora, the website was not stocking, and I had to wait for my local Sephora for 2 months to get it in. Like this lip liner, the best lip liner, and I find it's really friendly. It's really friendly for the dark-skinned girlies. There are some lip liners that make me look like really ashy, and I did not care for those. But you cannot go wrong. If you are a dark-skinned girly, you cannot go wrong with molasses. You know who has like really, really pretty lips? I love Rihanna's lips. I love Rihanna's lips. I think they're like so pretty, the shape of them. And I think it's probably, you know how when things are really rare, we find it really beautiful because it's not something we see very often. I don't see women very often, or men. I don't really see women or men with lips shaped like hers. Like her lips are just unique. I love them. They're so beautiful. And then for lip gloss, we're going to go in with this Tower 28 Lip Softy in Dolce de Leche. Like a brown sugar kind of color. Yeah. And it's actually, it smells really good. I really like the way this smells. That's like Leo. Y'all remember Leo from Love is Blind? That was so cringe. I saw this TikTok of him the other day, and he was like, you know how you do things that you think are cute and you don't realize they're not cute until you see somebody else do it, or you see it being done in a different context and you're like, yeah, that's really cringe. I think people went super hard on him. I really liked him. I thought Leo, I wish he would have like a different chance. Like maybe they'll put him on Love Island, or he will, you know, have another opportunity at Love on another reality TV show, because he was a little crazy in the pods. He was absolutely insane in the pods, but from the reunion and his TikToks he did after the show, that's what really made me like him. But if I only knew him like in the pods, I would have been like, ugh, this dude is so cringe. Okay, so let's finish it up, the makeup and the video, because there are like 2 more things that I want to hit on. But before we hit on one of those topics, we are going to go in with this Gucci Glow highlighter in warm bronze. Look at this. Look at this. It gives you like a perfect type of bronze shade. It's like, hold on. I need y'all to see this. Do you see that? Do you see that? Just that like subtle bronze? Oh, it's so good. People have been crashing out. Like the crash outs on TikTok and social media in general since this election have been real. And I was talking to one of my little sisters. I went to go see my parents over the weekend, and a few of my siblings still live with my parents. So I was talking to one of my sisters about this, and she was saying that a lot of people like that she hasn't really kept up with since like high school or undergrad, how they know what her political views are, and she's like very vocal. She's very much like me. She's an Aquarius, I'm a Gemini, so I call it our Aquemini energy. But anyways, she was saying that people after the election, people who she hasn't talked to since high school or college, since then, all of a sudden started watching her stories in hopes of seeing her crash out over the election. And she was like, I know what the reaction you're looking at from me, or you're wanting to get from me, but you ain't never gonna get it. I'm never gonna give you that satisfaction. Oh, while I'm talking, let me like set this. Okay, but anyways, you know, some people will like spray on the setting spray and they'll leave their lips out. I really hate the way setting spray feels like on my lips. And then when I lick my lips, I feel like I'm tasting chemicals. So I just do not put any setting spray on my lips, but your moms may vary. But anyway, she was saying that people are waiting for her to crash out. And these crash outs have been very interesting to see on social media, but I think the most surprising crash outs I've seen are the BookTok girlies who were saying to keep politics out of BookTok. And it's like, what? Are you unaware of what you are asking? Like, the very act of reading is political. Do you not understand the space and the community you are occupying and the magnitude of what it is to be able to know how to read? Knowledge is power. Why do you, it's like actually crazy to me that people don't seem to be like, and I won't say people, because let's be very honest. This rhetoric I've only been seeing white women talk about, keeping politics out of BookTok. And for several reasons, it is problematic because, for one, whiteness demands comfort. One tenet of white privilege and what whiteness is to be comfortable in a space. You don't have to be aware of what's happening in communities outside of you because those things are not impacting you. So when white women can vote for Donald Trump and not feel like they are going to be impacted by his politics, so they don't want people to be talking about those types of politics in a space where they feel like they should be comfortable and they don't want to have to hear about those things. It is very privileged to exist in that space and say, I don't want to hear about any of this stuff because none of this stuff is going to impact me. Like I said, knowledge is power. To be able to read, to be able to understand, to be able to be educated and learn and know is power. It is privilege. There is a reason why they banned slaves. It was part of the law. It was illegal for slaves to know how to read, to be taught how to read, and for their masters to teach them how to read, for them to have books, because books are political, because knowledge is political, because education is political. So for you to sit there and say to keep politics out of BookTok, what? Like, there is a creator, JJ McAvoy. She has been doing the best job. And Simone Umba did post a few videos, but I really have enjoyed watching JJ respond to all of these creators and just break down what is violent about their rhetoric, what is flat out wrong about their rhetoric, and what is privileged about their rhetoric. Because to be able to sit there and say to keep politics out of my space, a space that you didn't even create, it is a height of privilege to behave in a manner not caring, not having a single regard for how it is going to impact everybody else, and then simultaneously ask people not to talk about it because you don't want to hear about it, especially on a social media platform. Like, girl, it is just absolutely ridiculous. But if you're like, what are you talking about? What BookTok drama? What keep politics out of BookTok? If you are interested in pulling on that thread, definitely go to JJ's video. She's been dropping knowledge on the girls, and I'm just at a loss. I'm finally gonna put on some mascara. I've been sitting here talking forever, so let's like finish this look. Let's finish this look. I'm gonna go in with my, oh wait, no, that's a lie. I thought I was gonna do mascara, but I actually need to put on my last setting spray to like brighten up my under eye, because your girl does love a bright under eye. And we are gonna go in with, again, Huda Beauty, the same baking setting powder, except this is gonna be in the shade Kunafa. And the last topic, which I actually talked about in my last video, but I saw this video on TikTok over the weekend and literally it had me sat, and she did such a good job of breaking down what it is that I was saying, but not just in a conservative space as it pertains to women and what these next 4 years and the trends of these next 4 years, what we're gonna be seeing as it pertains to women and the threat on women's productive rights, but how we are going to see an increase in white nationalism over the next 4 years, and it's already started, and how this is going to impact not just our cultural trends as far as like how women are dating, but it's not only going to impact music, it's going to impact fashion, it's going to impact our culture, particularly pop culture. And this video is 10 minutes long. I'm not gonna post the entire thing here. I'm just gonna pull out something that was like really profound to me. But if you wanna watch the entire video, I encourage you to go to her TikTok and watch the entire video. I know we have an attention span problem in this country, but literally y'all gotta just sit down for a few minutes and watch certain things, because this video is absolutely worth every minute of the 10 minutes that she talked about this.
I have a lot of thoughts right now, and I really need to talk about them. I truly think that in all of the media in the mainstream right now, we're being fed white nationalism and conservative ideology, really reminiscent of post-Reconstruction era media. And you can definitely call me crazy if you want to, but I think we're at a peak of a cultural zeitgeist right now, and the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was to be an exhibition for the shift in cultural attitudes towards the myth of white exceptionalism and towards white nationalism.
This video is worth every single minute of your attention. Last thing I'm gonna do is spray setting spray, because I just realized I do not have makeup primer. I need to go open a new one. But when I don't have makeup primer, what I like to do is use the setting spray as a primer to my mascara, and it'll last like a little bit longer, because I do not like to spray wet setting spray after I do my mascara. I like to let it dry down for like 2 seconds, and then I'll spray one size setting spray over everything. Last spray of setting spray. This is probably why this goes by so fast, because I use one of these bottles like every 3 to 4 months is pushing it. I will go through these in like 3 months. What I love about this video is a lot of people, because we do such a crappy job of teaching history in this country, a lot of people don't understand that history is constantly repeating itself. And if you do not know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. And what we are seeing now is what we saw in the post-Reconstruction era after the Civil War. And what we saw was an increase in white nationalism, which led to the film The Birth of a Nation, which led to a resurgence of the KKK. Now, whether we will see that extreme violence in the form of LYNCHINGS, or increased police brutality, given Donald saying that he was going to get rid of qualified immunity and give the police basically carte blanche to treat communities of color, specifically Black people, however they want. Her video didn't go deeply into that. However, it talked about the increase of white nationalism and used the Paul Tyson fight and Jake Paul's speech after he won as an example of the dog whistles we are going to start seeing over the next 4 years, and have already started seeing. Why is Jake Paul fighting a 50-year-old man? Mike Tyson, I don't even think he's 50. I think that man is 60 years old. Hold on, let me Google how old Mike Tyson is and what business Jake Paul had fighting him in the first place. I wonder how much money he made off of that fight, by the way, because Mike Tyson, yeah, this man is 58 years old. Why are you fighting? Why are you boxing a 58-year-old man, and then afterwards acting like this was this great feat and great triumph? This man is 58 years old. He's not in his prime, but this creator did a great job of breaking down a lot of his racially coded dog whistles in that acceptance speech that is signaling this rise of, again, white nationalism, this white exceptionalism coming back to the forefront, with Donald Trump's win solidifying that. This Donald Trump's win against Kamala Harris, a Black woman, a biracial woman, whatever you want to regard her as, this foreign other in the land of America. White people are reclaiming what is theirs. And I think that absolutely ties into that white exceptionalism, ties into this panic over the declining birth rate, because everybody talks about the birth rate declining in America, and I talked about it in one of my videos from last week, one of my recent videos. The birth rate in America is declining. But there's like an asterisk to that. It is declining amongst very specific groups of people. More specifically and most drastically, it is declining in the white community, whereas the Latino birth rate is increasing. There is absolutely this fear amongst the right, amongst certain white people, that they are being replaced. And so this attack on women's reproductive rights, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's very interesting to me that white women are unable to see or do not care to see the impact this will have, how they voted in their own lives. Because there is this woman, she hopped on TikTok, and she was this white woman. I think she was also on BookTok, which is why I came across her video. But she was like, to women of color, to the LGBTQIA plus community, to other marginalized communities who are upset about the fact that I voted for Donald Trump, I didn't vote against you, I voted for me. And I was like, what exactly for you did you vote for? And then she went on to say the economy was a big deciding factor for her. But what was very interesting to me was that she was a younger white woman. A lot of the time when I see a lot of white women talk about this, I voted for the economy, I voted for this, I voted for that, they are older. So of course they're not really going to care about their reproductive rights because a lot of them are past reproductive age. However, I'm genuinely surprised by younger white women. But I also, like I said in the video I did last week, they don't know what it is like to not have these rights. So if they are voting and existing in a blissful state of comfort and ignorance, not knowing what it is like to not have these rights, but also knowing that because of their whiteness, because of the privilege that affords them, they likely will not be as impacted by these rights that will be stripped from them. It will not be as impacted as women of color and people from other communities by having these reproductive rights stripped from them. So I just really love this video because I called it out. I do think that there has been this growing sense of white nationalism, and it's not even a feeling. Statistically speaking, you can go and see what the reports are showing. The FBI, the CIA, government organizations have been tracking this rise in increased hostile and violent white supremacy. We have been tracking it. No one seems to really be doing anything about it. But with this election, with the results of this election, I definitely think it is going to impact our culture over the next few years. Not just our policy, but our culture. And I already called it out in the video that I did last week about the 4B movement and how our dating trends, how women are dating, how women are approaching dating is becoming more conservative in nature. We will definitely see it go beyond that and extend into music, culture, art, fashion, education. We are gonna see it all. And it'll be a very interesting next 4 years. And as much as I've been saying it'll be an interesting next 4 years, if a certain party is able to implement everything that they want to implement, this will be an election we will feel for decades, for generations to come. And yeah. But my makeup is done. My makeup is done. I actually, what do we think? What do we think? Do we like it? Do we like it? I like it. I think it came out pretty well. Like I said, this is like an everyday beat. Child, I'm not gonna do anything. I may go and run some errands. I may actually do some grocery shopping and not put it off until later this evening, but time will tell, time will tell. But anyways, thanks for catching up with me. Drop down in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. I will try and list out in the comments everything that I used as well to complete this look. If you love this video, don't forget to like. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Also, I have this challenge by the end of November. I would really love to be at 1,000 subscribers. So if you love this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, peace out.